not in Baltimore, thought he was. He's at the Seaport. Anyway, Adam, what's the latest out of Pittsburgh when it comes to injuries?
Laura, Juju Smith-Schuster dislocated his shoulder during yesterday's win over the Denver Broncos. He's going to undergo surgery later this week that's expected to sideline him about 4 months, which in all probability will end his season, which means the Pittsburgh Steelers lose one of Ben Roethlisberger's most reliable targets. Juju Smith-Schuster looks like he will not play again this season. As for the Kansas City Chiefs, they suffered a handful of injuries last night. Tyreek Hill, minor knee injury, should not miss any time. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, sprained MCL, should miss a few weeks. We'll see how that works out with him. But Darrell Williams would figure to be the replacement in the backfield. But the good news for them is that it doesn't look like Tyreek Hill will miss any time. And Joe Thuney, the offensive lineman, fractured his hand. And the Giants quarterback Daniel Jones, running back Saquon Barkley, both injured. Saquon Barkley sprained his left ankle on this play right here. You saw his foot turn at a weird angle. He was carted off in the second quarter. Daniel Jones then left with a concussion that he may have gotten on the hit or when he hit the ground. The fact of the matter is Jones remains in protocol, concussion protocol, and Barkley's likely to miss some time. The question is how much, and that'll be determined by more tests and how quickly he recovers.
Yeah, I got to say, I think a lot of people, just fans of Saquon Barkley, breathed a little sigh of relief hearing that it wasn't as bad as maybe it looked in the moment. Thanks to Adam, we got more from him a little bit later on in the show. Marcus, you just heard Adam's injury report about the Giants, but something stood out to you about Daniel Jones and that hit on him. What was that? Yeah, well, I mean, y'all know how I talk about the code in the NFL. A lot, like the respect for guys' livelihood, and I thought it was a great gesture that Kurtz made after Daniel Jones was concussed. You see here Jabril Cox making a tackle, a really good tackle, and it was just an unfortunate situation for DJ because he's been playing well. But you see the brotherhood. There's a brotherhood in this league, and everybody doesn't abide by it. But when we see these things, I think it's important for us to point them out about taking care of each other. I've been on the field when guys get injured. And when you see it happen, and it immediately goes into you don't want to see anybody's livelihood be affected in playing the game that we love. So I just thought that was something to point out because we talk so often about things that happen wrong in the NFL. That's something that's really, really good about the game. It was tough to see from Daniel Jones, but definitely classy by Kurtz. And Mina, those injuries played a part in what the Giants did. But if you think about what the Cowboys were able to do, and especially the offense, what did they do specifically this week that impressed you? Because there's something different every week,
right? The same thing that they've been doing all season. I mean, okay. I'm watching that show, Squid Game, that everyone's watching. I feel like no one here is watching it.
We're going to talk about it.
The thing is, when I watch it, half the time my eyes are like this because it's so terrifying and violent. That is how opposing fans must feel watching the Cowboys offense. It is violent. It is terrifying. It is an unstoppable killing machine. I mean, I don't know what else can we say about this offense? They beat you every kind of way. This week, especially what jumped out was how dang good Dak Prescott was on third down. Best in the NFL of any of the quarterbacks this weekend. And just look at these stats. Okay, QBR, for anyone who doesn't know, that's a 0 to 100 scale. 99.7 on third down.
So the highest you can get is 100?
Yes, bananas. I mean, he's playing so well, lights out every week, taking what defenses have been giving him, beating them. Oh, okay, you want me to throw deep this week? You threw deep a bit more. Great. You want me to go quick game? Great. You want me to run the ball? Great. We can do that. I don't know what else to say at this point, Marcus. I don't know why you don't have a bigger smile, frankly.
I mean, I'm just waiting on Dan.
Well, I mean, I didn't know. So he's 99.7, and perfection would be 100.
This weekend,
it would be perfection.
Pretty good.
Point away.
All right, so I love the fact that you hinted the third down because the third down that stood out to me, it's because they're kind of they sweat the small stuff, so to speak, offensively. So the center gets the line of scrimmage, and he's got to declare a mic. Hey, I got the 4 defensive linemen, and I want that middle linebacker. Now this is where Dak is right now. Check that. I want you guys to go to the linebacker on the right. Dak is starting to declare it. I want the 4 defensive linemen. I think that guy's going to be a blitzer. Why does that matter? Because now the back doesn't have to block him. And the back can be a helper just in case somebody does potentially get beat. That's exactly what the back does right there. Catches that looper. That extra a third of a second allows an absolutely perfect throw on 3rd and 8 on the go route to CeeDee Lamb. But that's sweating the small stuff. You know, here's because the truth is, if Dak had left the original point that Mike linebacker, the back would have blocked the linebacker, and it may have worked out. But he also may have to throw it like this, or the ball's not perfect and allows the safety to get over. And so that's like those small things that show up. I will say this, the two things that the Cowboys do so impressive yesterday is when they pull people on offense, they're the Cleveland Browns. They're that good. Yeah. And then when they put those 5 cats across the line of scrimmage on defense, and they force you to figure it out, who's coming, where are all the one-on-ones, they are hard.
What is the thing they don't do well?
Yeah.
On offense.
Yeah. Let's make you figure that out.
What is the thing that if you had to identify one weakness on this offense?
On offense?
Camera, zoom in on this silly smile.
I mean, I'm trying.
The smile's getting bigger.
Y'all, I'm actually trying. I can't.
I think you can I think you can have success with change pressures. Minimal success.
Well, of course Dan has something.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah. Anything else that you want to say about the Cowboys?
Yeah, listen, I'm so impressed with the physicality, y'all. Like, on a serious note, like we think about the Cowboys, and last year we drubbed them. We talked about the injuries, how bad the defense was, but the way they are attacking the football from a defensive standpoint. And look, I know we are enamored with the takeaways. That is not coincidental. This is flying around. And yes, the one concern I have is they give up explosive plays, like a little bit too much for my comfort.
On defense.
But on defense, but ultimately, how fast they're playing and the understanding of what they're doing is putting them in great positions to make plays, and it's turning out to be good for them. This team is for real, man. Yeah, this team is for real.
If a computer could smile, it might be FBI smiling down on the Cowboys because they now say that the Cowboys have a 91% chance to win the NFC.
Conveniently.
Not an accident. He's wearing cowboy blue. We were talking about Dak Prescott. He certainly showed the fighting spirit against the Giants 1 year after suffering that devastating leg injury against them. Prescott said he was in a fog early in the game and really wasn't trying to think about it. But once he threw that 49-yard touchdown to CeeDee Lamb, he got rolling a little bit, throwing for 3 touchdowns and 302 yards. Boy, did he ever get rolling. That's beautiful.
He came back, too, from a tough first quarter, too.
Yeah, I could watch that. I love it when it just drops right in the basket like that. So does CeeDee Lamb. All right, coming up on NFL Live. Hey, you thought extra points were a given? Well, think again.
Kickers.
Oh, Lord.
No good.
Oh, my gosh.
Crosby can't believe it either. It hits the upright.